The following program was produced by Cinema Milkshake.
What would you like to do now?
Go to the movies.
Now you're talking. I could be up for that.
So what have you got?
The stuff that dreams are made of.
What did you think?
It's the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life.
You're going to love this.
No, sir. I didn't like it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
This whole thing's a bloody farce.
Good movie.
It won the Academy Award.
Oh, for what?
For best movie ever made.
Oh, it's Keen. It's pure Keen. No, it's greater than Keen. It's Cougat.
Why are you torturing me like this?
You're gonna love this, trust me.
I've lost all critical perspective.
Why?
Did you like that?
Are you kidding?
Let's all go to the movie.
Woo-hoo!
That's what I'm talking about.
What do we got?
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Kill Me or Thrill Me. This is the podcast where I let various people recommend any movie they want to me, as long as I've never seen it and they're willing to come on the show and talk about it. Along the way, we learn a little bit about each other through our shared love of film and ultimately find out, did their recommendation kill me or thrill me, or a little bit of both? Maybe none of the above? We'll find out. I have a very, very, very special guest today. I've known him for a long, long time. Old-time friend and collaborator at one point. We made some films. We were in the trenches of the DIY sub-indie world, I guess you could call it. I'm very proud of this. One of the films he shot for me, he won a Best Cinematography Award. And he has now gone on to be an associate teaching professor of media at Ball State University. Benjamin Strack, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to hear your voice and see your gorgeous face. It has been way too long.
It has been way too long.
And you, my friend, seem to have done very well with yourself since we were last in each other's company, and I could not be happier for you.
Yeah, well, I try hard. And it's been a journey. There's a huge part of my heart that still misses those days back in Grand Rapids of late nights and early mornings and freezing cold and haunted, condemned houses.
Oh, yeah.
All of that.
I sometimes miss it, and I'm sometimes so glad it no longer exists in my life.
Yeah.
Very, very fond memories of working with you and a few others. Yes. And we did good work. Whether or not we're legally allowed to show and or talk about some of that work is another question. But we did. We had a good time, and a lot of fun nights. And I got to be honest with you, Ben. We've known each other for a long time, as I mentioned, and you know, we've fought, we've broke up, we've kissed, we've made up. So I just want to be very, very, very forthright with you. It is very hot in my room, and I may or may not, but there's probably an 85% chance of May be doing this podcast in my underwear because it is so sticky hot, and I hope you don't mind. So I just wanted to get that off my chest.
So here's the thing about the, how far back we go and our working relationship and all these things. We've known each other probably 16, 17 years, right? And still, we are on the same wavelength, Ryan.
Yeah? Are you sitting in your underwear as well? 85% chance of maybe?
85% chance maybe.
I love it. See? We're podcasting in our briefs.
Yes. And I will say, too, that, I honestly, I teach cinematographers and I teach directors, and I still, our working relationship that we had, I still call back to it as one of many case examples to my students when they're like, well, what am I supposed to, how am I supposed to talk to my director of photography or whatever? And you are one of the people that I'm like, it can look all kinds of ways because we looked this specific way. I worked with a couple other directors that looked very different than that. And then when I started directing and doing a lot more directing myself, I'm suddenly working with cinematographers that, I learned from how we worked and what is my primary thing I should be worrying about and what is really more for me to let them worry about and all those sorts of things too.
Yeah.
There's no one way to do it though.
No.
It's really, it is, and I tell them, as silly as it is just like dating.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of the reasons in the industry you see the same director and director of photography do all of their films together, because once you find someone you'd like, you just kind of want to stick with them. I
could not agree more. I had another former colleague of and collaborator of ours, a couple of them on this show so far, Nate Robertson.
Oh, I love Nate. Who
was the AD on one of the projects we worked on together, and I told him, and I'll repeat it to you, that looking back on those days, I feel like I was still in my learning phase, and the two people I learned the most from were you and him, about how to be a director, because I now feel like I could actually be a good director if I were to ever do it again. Yeah. I did not consider myself as such back then, but learning what I did from both of you, I now feel like, okay, I get it. I hope someday to have that. But I've also kind of maybe am not that interested in directing again. I'm still a screenwriter and stuff, which is more my passion. Yeah. But yeah, you guys taught me more on 2 short film sets than I learned in all of film school. And I appreciate that. So I will always look back fondly on those days, and you know, you'll always be the one, man. You'll always be the one. And if I ever get the chance to do it again, of course I will. You know, I will tell them, you got to hire Ben, or I'm not doing this, and you got to hire Nate. And Rob Jolie says hi, by the way, because he was on this show as well. Oh, nice. And he had fond memories of some of our shooting on one of our films. So you are much beloved back here in the Mitten State.
I miss the Mitten State.
We miss you, but I want you to tell everybody a little bit more about yourself and what you do before we get into this wonderful cinematic treat that you have brought to me. But you know, let everybody know a little bit more about you, Ben.
Yeah, so I am originally a West Michigander. Worked through, did my undergrad at Western Michigan, and ended up meeting you and a whole bunch of other people at our day job. Made a lot of fun films together. I then ended up moving out to Rochester, New York, did a 3-year program getting an MFA in film production from Rochester Institute of Technology. My big film there was a film called Outburst, which was, I spent like 15 months on this thesis film that I want to say I got into about 23 film festivals internationally, something like that. Yeah, it had a great run for 2 years. It had a weekend. It opened in India and I want to say like Italy on the same day.
Okay.
Which was a little wild. But it was all about like disabilities, but also like it had a music angle to it. It was a lot of fun. It meant a lot. And then the very next year I had my daughter, and have not directed really anything since, because I am growing a child. And that takes too much of my time and energy. But I am now still growing this wonderful program here at Ball State University where I teach now. I teach in the Department of Media, which covers all manner of kind of media production. And I have made inside of that big umbrella, I now kind of am home for a lot of students who really care about like the like both art and industry of filmmaking still. They kind of come under my little umbrella, and this program called Radiance Cinema, because Ball State is the Cardinals, and the group, you know group nouns like a Murder of Crows.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's a Radiance of Cardinals.
Okay.
So
nice.
There you go. So that's Radiance Cinema. We just have completed our 3rd year of existing as this project at Ball State, and we partner with the acting students in the theater and dance department, all of our actors. We have composers coming from the School of Music. We have just collaboration kind of across the campus. It's really awesome. We made 5 films this past spring. They actually premiere at the Indie Shorts International Film Festival on July 23rd.
Okay.
This summer. And very excited for that. 5 films with maybe I don't have an exact count with including my like advertising students and all these sorts of things, but probably about 135 students involved on 5 films. Yeah, it's an enterprise.
Yeah.
We are a little bit of a mini studio.
Sounds like it. You guys want to make a feature film? I've got a script. You can have it and do whatever you want with it.
I mean, that's a different conversation. We should talk though.
Okay.
Because, technically, I, as a faculty, am still supposed to be making my own stuff.
Okay.
Especially if I want to be moving forward. And so, especially in the summers, realistically, I hope my future holds for me making some larger film projects in the summer where I am now directing instead of just, like, executive producing and puppeting. I don't mean puppeting like the students don't do what I tell them to. No. But, like, I give suggestions, and I have built the structure through which the students are finding all of this, the success and dreams and all these things. So
yeah, I think that's great that you're still doing it. I'm envious. I cannot imagine a better person suited for that job. Your passion is palpable, and I know you're very good at communicating and teaching, as you taught me, whether you intended to or not. You were very patient with me, and helped me out quite a bit. So I think those students are blessed to have you, and I think that's fantastic. And as much as people like to say that the industry is dying and film is dying, and it's good to know that young people are still passionate about it and want to do work in it. So hopefully they will outnumber AI, and we won't have to put up with AI slop ever winning an Oscar. So do your work, Ben. You're on the vanguard of fighting against AI, and
I literally feel like that some days.
I'm sure you do.
And I will say it surprises me, and I don't push or tear down AI to my students one way or the other necessarily, but like I have, especially generative AI and that stuff, I have very icky feelings about it, I'll just say.
Yeah.
And I am continually amazed the vast majority of my students feel the same way.
Good.
Like, even someone suggests like, oh, what if we did this video with like that is using AI something, and the students, like, this happened once this past spring, and the students all just kind of went,
yeah,
like why even test it that way?
Yeah. No, that gives me hope. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Keep leading the crusade.
Yeah.
But I mean, full disclosure, I'm AI. I mean, I have an AI doing my podcast right now. So you're talking.
Yeah.
Ryan's actually in bed, sleeping with his cat.
I thought you died a few years ago.
Well, yeah, he's in his bed. Oh,
it's still
air quotes sleeping.
Yeah.
The cats have half devoured him by now, but his roommate just hasn't figured it out yet. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe the roommate is also AI. We're living in a simulation.
I've heard that. Which
leads me to a little segment I like to call Break the Ice! Are you ready for this, Ben? This is so much fun.
Right. Is our icebreaker simulation or not simulation?
No, that was a terrible segue. I just really wanted to get off the subject of me being AI, because I couldn't go anywhere clever with it. You could tell it's so hot in here that I'm straining for humor and jokes, and my wit is just at its wit's end. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay, you get to play a little game I call Would You Rather Roulette. Okay?
Okay.
I have a collection of 50, count them, 50 would you rather questions that range everywhere from silly to gross to contemplative and somewhat dark. Mm. So from you, Ben, I need 3 numbers between 1 and 50.
Let's do 6.
Okay.
7.
Okay.
And 48.
Okay, good. I was gonna smack you if you said 8.
No,
because I was like, no,
the
that's
6'7"
not
is for my daughter. That's for my daughter.
Okay, this is interesting. Would you rather discover that heaven doesn't want you, or hell doesn't need you?
Man, that went deeply contemplative.
It's roulette, man. I don't know what you're gonna get.
I'm trying to understand how would I even feel that hell doesn't need me.
I know.
What like this is making me suddenly like assess what are the needs of hell.
I know,
like,
right?
I don't think I've ever pondered the needs of hell.
No.
As it were.
Hell needs sinners. It needs agony and suffering.
So it's which would I rather?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with I would rather find out that hell doesn't need me. Or no.
Heaven doesn't want you.
I would yes. Yes, cuz I'd rather not be wanted or not be needed. I want to be wanted.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I want heaven to want me, which means I'm choosing the hell option. The hell doesn't need me.
Right.
And I don't need them.
So like Cheap
Hell
Trick,
is a strong, independent woman.
Hell is a strong, independent woman that does not need you. Which
does
makes,
not need me.
Which makes her all the more
or
desirable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So you want heaven to want you, like the Cheap Trick song. Okay. Number 7. Would you rather know the world ends in 1 year or not know that it's ending tomorrow?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So you could be blissfully unaware for the next 24 hours, or you could live in fear for the next year.
Would I live in fear, though?
I don't know.
Or would I actually suddenly live the best year of my life?
You'd go skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing.
You know, I actually got invited to go skydiving a couple months ago from a friend, and I was like, no. Like, there's a part of me that wants to.
Yeah.
And also, I don't maybe have the best heart.
Okay.
And so it's, like, probably not recommended.
I promised my nephew that when he turns 18, I would go with him.
Yeah.
But that means, let's see, he's 13 now, so that's 5 years from now.
5
I'll
years.
be 58, or no, 57.
Okay.
So if my heart is still in good condition, I have to go skydiving with my nephew.
There you go. I mean, that's beautiful.
So I don't know, what do you think? A year or a year of unsurety, perhaps trepidation, or 1 day of ignorant bliss?
So I'm going to go with a year.
Okay.
But here is, can I counter a question for you?
Of course.
If you choose the year, so you have a year.
Yeah.
Do you tell anyone?
Oh, if I'm the only one that knows, I still think I'd go for the year and just try to like entertain people and like, you know, make them feel loved.
But would you tell anyone?
No. Well, I guess it depends if I could.
Yeah, let's say you're allowed to.
Yeah, but what would be the point? But if you can't, then you just have to live without bringing everybody else down, which I don't know I'm the best person for that job because I'm not a very positive, happy individual on a day-to-day basis. So I may not be the right person to carry this burden. Because I'd be sitting there the whole time. Because of course I'd start smoking again, and I would just sit there puffing away, going, "Man, none of you know. None of you know. Look at you all, you ignorant morons, going about your daily life, not knowing that 365 days from now you're all dead." That'd be me. You don't want that.
Go tell me. And I'm sorry, but you said the magic words that carry this burden, and so I will Sam your Frodo, man.
So you're the one person I can tell, and then you have to just carry me on your back while I'm chain smoking and drinking the entire city.
I can't carry it for you, Ryan.
No, but you can carry me.
But I can carry you.
See, I just want to kiss you on the face. That's how much I miss you and your love and support. Well, let's see if you get a more fun question now. Although I think those are kind of fun.
Go deep in the list. Yeah.
Oh my God, this one's even worse. I'm so sorry, but you know what? You gave me the numbers. Would you rather save humanity but lose everyone you personally love and care about, or only saved your loved ones while the rest of humanity fails and dies. They use the word falls. I don't like that, so I'm going to say the rest of humanity. You know what I'm getting at. God, man, you got three bleak ones.
Existential.
Yeah, and given the movie we're talking about, that's not even apropos.
Because there's nothing existential.
No.
About this movie.
No. This movie has no depth whatsoever.
Hey, you're getting ahead of us.
I am getting ahead of us. But they can see on it says in the episode description what we're talking about. They know what they're in for.
I mean, Ryan, I don't know if you can see this. 0 subtext.
Okay, yeah.
0 subtext.
And it's underlined. I like it.
It's underlined.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm, as is always my case with these sorts of questions and my autistic brain, I'm going to finagle my way into the answer I actually want instead of the answers they provided me.
I like it.
Which is to say, because I absolutely don't want to lose all the people I love. I think they're fantastic. And to that end, I'm going to define my loved ones as all the people I care about.
Ooh.
Which is, frankly, the majority of humanity.
Right. That's a good way to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because then they'll be like, oh, that's where the devil goes, damn it, you got me. And throws down his fiddle and, or whatever he did down there in, where did he go?
Georgia.
Georgia, yeah. Good job, Ben. You gamed the system. You're like Captain Kirk. That was like how you win the Kobayashi Maru.
Or like Dungeon Crawler Carl. Have you read Dungeon Crawler Carl yet?
No.
Are you familiar with Dungeon Crawler Carl?
No.
This is going to be the next thing, Ryan.
Okay.
Hello. May I have a minute to tell you about the Dungeon Crawler Carl?
You didn't knock on the door, but I will allow it.
Yes. It's this new book series. I'm in my second reread of the series right now already.
Okay.
Book 8 just came out this past spring. It's by Matt Dinniman. It's a lit RPG, which is it's very game Dungeons and Dragons, but computer game also.
Okay.
Esque. And it is just the most amazing, fantastic books. They're hilarious. They're crude at times. They're if you can listen to the Audible versions or even go a step further, Sound Booth Theater is this great small production company that does they do audiobooks, so they do the official Audible ones, but they also do their own, they call them immersion tunnels, which is really just old school radio dramas.
Right. Okay.
And so it's a full cast and sound effects and music and everything that you can hear the book. The performances are fantastic though, but it is also immensely anti-capitalistic and critical of consumerism and all of these sorts of things in the best way possible. But if you check this out, which also Seth MacFarlane has procured the rights and they've greenlit season 1 of Dungeon Crawler Carl to turn into a TV show in the next couple of years.
Okay.
So this is going to be a big thing. I'm getting you in. It's not quite the ground floor, but we're on floor 2 here.
Okay.
Right?
I'm writing it down on my notepad.
That's all I ask.
Because if there's anything I need, Ben, it's more stuff to read.
More.
Yeah, I'm looking up at my to-read pile and then my other to-read pile and then all the DVDs and Blu-rays behind me I still need to watch. Actually, I don't. I've seen all those. Those are Criterions and whatnot that will never be opened because I just want to have them.
Fair enough. I like the collecting thing.
Yeah. In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale. Now, I want to show you something. You showed me your notes. If you can see this at the top, I wrote In the Name of the Dragon because I was not even thinking. And I swear to God, this is one of those Berenstain Bear Mandela effect things. I swear to God, this whole time I thought there was a dragon on the poster. There's not. There's no dragon in this movie. No. So this whole time you've been calling it In the Name of the King, and I kept thinking, tonight I gotta watch In the Name of the Dragon. It's in the I'm gonna watch In the Name of the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, nothing. No. No dragons in this, folks. This is a film by Uwe Boll, and you, Ben, are the second guest in a row to bring me an Uwe Boll film. I want to explain to everybody a little bit about how this conspired or transpired.
Yeah, that's your fault.
It is my fault. I had done several episodes in a row where I just liked the movies. And I was like, you know what? I got to shake this podcast up a little bit. So I admittedly went on Facebook and fished. I made a sarcastic post saying, gosh, I hope no one ever comes on my show and recommends any of these movies to me. That would be terrible. Please don't do that. And I listed several movies, or several categories of movies even. And one thing I wrote was anything involving Uwe Boll and vampires. So not one but two people decided to come to me with Uwe Boll movies. Neither of them featuring vampires. So you guys did not obey the rules, but I'm going to allow it anyway. The one I did last week, on last week's episode, was a film called Attack on Darfur, and it was one of Uwe Boll's serious message films about the genocide in Darfur back in the mid-2000s. And since doing that episode, I've now learned it's still going on. Very depressing film, very depressing subject matter. Regardless of whether I liked the movie or not, it was very hard to watch. Unpleasant as hell. So you then join me for the next episode with what is, in essence, a Lord of the Rings ripoff, based on a video game I have never even heard of called Dungeon Siege Tales, or some Dungeon Siege, I don't know.
No idea.
Apparently an RPG from back in the day, directed by Uwe Boll. And he, at this point in time, as a lot of people know, we got into Uwe on that episode. I'm not going to rehash all of that. If anybody is curious about that, go listen to the Darfur episode.
Yes.
But for the time period that we're talking about here, this is kind of when he hit the scene, was in the early 2000s up until almost the late 2000s. He did a whole run of films based on video games that most of them I have never heard of. I knew about House of the Dead. That was the very first Uwe Boll movie I ever suffered through. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. And it was a zombie film. Horrible film. And I'm not even joking. I, to this day, still think it's terrible. So this was what was in a long line of video game adaptations.
Well, literally this same year, later this year, he did Blood Rain.
Yeah. Which
is vampires.
I know. And nobody gave me that one.
And part of me is even suspicious because, and I feel like that was a sci-fi original movie or something. But part of me is so suspicious because, like, Christiana Loken plays Blood Rain in the first one and was in this. Yep. And part of me is like, were they just vibing on set and be like, oh, that's Dungeon Siege, it's an okay game, but have you ever played Blood Rain?
Right. Well, she's also in Darfur.
Oh, okay.
So she is a returning Uwe Boll regular for some reason. Yeah, I imagine paychecks are involved.
That helps.
And
it really does.
I'm going to go out, and I've said this many times, so I'll just say it again, get it out of the way. I don't ever fault an actor for taking a job. Most actors are working actors that want to support themselves through their work, and I respect the hell out of that. And I don't care if they go from Spielberg to Uwe Boll to Scorsese to Tommy Wiseau, as long as they're getting paid, God bless them.
Well, and I mean, you sign every project you ever sign up for, you're hoping for the best out of that one, right?
And if you're an actor, it's unless you're like a hands-on producer, like someone like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or somebody, you don't have much say in how that movie's going to turn out. Yeah. Like you're there to say your lines and hit your mark and play your character. And at the end of the day, they yell rap on the production. You go on to your next job. You don't know. So that's my way of saying I don't blame any of these guys for being in this movie because holy crap, does this have a stacked cast, as the kids say. But before we get to that, Ben, let's just tell everybody what this movie's about. Came out in 2007, and it's set in the Kingdom of Ebb, and it follows a character named Farmer, who is also a farmer. He was adopted by a village. When his wife and son leave to sell vegetables at the town of Stonebridge, his farm is attacked by creatures called Kroogs. With the help of his friend Norik, he travels to Stonebridge, where his wife and son are. However, before he arrives, the Kroogs, controlled by the wizard Galleon, kill his son and capture his wife. So Farmer, along with Norik and his brother-in-law Bastian, set out to rescue his wife. Meanwhile, Fallow is conspiring with the wizard Galleon to take over the kingdom, led by his uncle, King Conrad. I don't know. That's your plot. Basic sort of fantasy plot. Actually, it sounds like a lot of westerns, too.
That's true.
So, I don't know. It could also be a kung fu movie, which it kind of is at some point.
It kind of is.
Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen this, I'll try not to spoil anything, but I don't know, man. This movie's like 20 years old now. But even though, you know, a lot of the movies I discuss on this show are ones people already know, I like to give the listeners the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Either that they have seen it and are patient enough to set through some of this context, or they've never seen it, and I want to appeal to both those listeners. So, Ben, what do you think of Jason Statham?
It depends.
Okay.
I think overall, I think I generally am a fan.
Okay.
It's one of those, you know, sometimes I wonder if actors, I mean, you talk about, like, you talking about them taking gigs, and you don't fault them for that. Like, sometimes I wonder, like, are they stuck in a certain, like, type of film because it's all people want them for, or do they like that?
Yeah.
And I feel like occasionally, like, I feel like I've seen some Jason Statham work where he acts.
Yeah.
And I'm interested by it. Like, I wish I could see him do less of just the physical fights and all these sorts of things and do more serious. It's kind of like, I don't know if you talk about Tom Cruise, like, there's someone I follow online who has talked about the fact that, like, Tom Cruise as an action hero is kind of terrible. And especially when you compare that to Tom Cruise's, like, serious acting work is always incredible.
Yeah.
Like, he is so good as a serious actor and so just, like,
generic
milquetoast kind of as the action hero.
Yeah.
I mean, he even has his whatever. There was just a movie announced that's coming up that he's fully transformed. Or you talk. What was the one where he plays like a record? He's in like a fat suit and everything.
Oh, that was Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
like, he's incredible.
Yeah.
Or even you go back and you look at like some of his earlier work.
Born on the 4th of July is really good.
Yeah, well, or even what's the one where it's more like poetic?
Magnolia.
Yeah,
Magnolia is a great Tom Cruise performance. Yeah, no, he's a fantastic actor, but I also think he's at the end of the day, I think he also sees himself as an entertainer and just loves the idea of making crowd-pleasing blockbuster entertainment films, and then kind of every once in a while dabbling in something a little more challenging, like Interview with the Vampire, or like we said, Magnolia.
Yeah. Oh, that's another great one.
Yeah. Because he did that early in his career. He kind of burst out with comedies. Then he did Top Gun, but then he was doing things like Born on the 4th of July and Rain Man and Color of Money.
Oh, yeah.
Statham, on the other hand, I think he's fun. I generally find him just amusing. He actually said his main influences as an actor when he was getting into it was to be like Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Clint Eastwood. So I think he's fine with it.
Yeah.
But he plays the character of Farmer. He's our hero in this. Now, he has appeared in numerous films, and worldwide combined gross for Jason Statham's films is over $8.5 billion. So,
that's not bad.
Not bad at all. Huge box office star. action movies tend to do well overseas because, as I've often said, you don't really need to know what they're saying when you're just seeing people getting kicked in the face.
Right.
Now, Statham began practicing Chinese martial arts, kickboxing, and karate in his youth, and then he was also a footballer and a diver, and was on Great Britain's national diving team, and competed for England in the 1990 Commonwealth Games. And then after that, he became a model, working for French Connection, Tommy Hilfiger, and Levi's. And soon after that, he was cast in the Guy Ritchie crime films Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, which were both commercial hits, and they helped catapult him to stardom. And he hasn't really stopped since. So speaking of like this action thing, he is actually trained in karate, wushu, Wing Chun, kung fu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and kickboxing. And he was inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame in 2014. So I kind of think he just has fun kicking people in the face. If I could, I would too. Kristanna Loken plays Elora, sort of a forest spirit.
I feel like there was a script draft where they were elves.
Yeah.
And they were like, copyright.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they're doing in this movie. But I covered her and her career in that previous episode because she was one of the stars of Darfur. So if you want to know more about her, probably know her from Terminator 3. If you don't know her name, she was the TX, the first female Terminator sent back in time. That's where she kind of got her start. So next we have Lily Sobieski as Muriella.
Oh, man.
My brother Josh likes to refer to her as Minnie Hunt because she kind of looks like a mini version of Helen Hunt. That's his joke, not mine.
That's fair.
She burst on the scene in 1999 playing Joan of Arc in a made-for-television movie for which she was nominated for both.
That was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. And she was nominated for a Golden Globe and a Primetime Emmy. And she has since followed that up with a Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actress for 88 Minutes and In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale. So she retired from acting in 2012 to focus on raising her kids and to pursue her passion for art. One interesting thing about Lily Sobieski, speaking of Tom Cruise, because they worked together on the film Eyes Wide Shut, Lily Sobieski apparently collects locks of hair from the major stars appearing with her in her films. Tom Cruise denied her request while filming Eyes Wide Shut. He would not give her a lock of his hair. I don't know if that's a personal thing. Maybe Scientologists aren't allowed to do that. I don't know. But
also that's not necessarily like a normal collector.
Nope. Nope. I don't judge. I just reveal the facts, folks. Next we have Claire Forlani as Solana. She is the wife of Farmer. I first saw her in Mallrats. And then, I don't know. I haven't really followed her career since. She kind of seems to pop up every once in a while. Unfortunately...
I think I remember her big first from Meet Joe Black.
Yeah, Meet Joe Black.
Was my first, like, oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, she's quite striking. I definitely had a crush on her after Mallrats. Cool thing about her, though, is Pete Townsend from The Who is her godfather, and he thanked her in his latest autobiography. And
there you go.
Her son's godfather, or her child's godfather, I should say, because I don't know the gender of the child, but her child's godfather is Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. So I don't know. She knows a lot of rock stars.
I guess.
Next, we have John Rhys-Davies as Merrick, obviously known from Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He played Sala, Gimli in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
As well as Treebeard, excuse me.
Yes, you are correct. You are correct. He has been in about 487 films and TV shows, lots of awards. We're almost through this cast, folks, but it's important that you know that Uwe Boll was able to get all these people in this movie We have Ron Perlman as Norik. Ron Perlman rose to fame in the late 80s on TV's Beauty and the Beast, for which he was nominated for a Primetime Emmy twice and also won a Golden Globe for the same show. And I'll have you know, my grandmother Liskey loved this show so much. Super fan. She thought Ron Perlman in his Beast makeup had the sexiest voice. I don't know. She left us many, many years ago, so I could not ask her any follow-up questions. But I do know she was obsessed with that damn show. Now, he played Hellboy. I'm sure most people nowadays know him as Hellboy. He's been in a lot of Guillermo del Toro films. He was in Alien Resurrection. I'm sure everybody knows Ron Perlman. Surprisingly not as tall as I thought he was, because I almost bumped into him at a comic book convention once. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, not as tall. He's tall. Taller than me, but I'm short. Short as hell. But yeah, I was kind of surprised, like, oh, that's Ron Perlman. Like, it was just weird. Matthew Lillard as Duke Fallow. Most people probably know him from Scream. And he also played Shaggy in the live action.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Which afterwards, he became the official animated voice of the character following Casey Kasem's retirement from the role in 2009. In 2003, for the film Scooby-Doo, he won the Kids' Choice Award for Best Fart in a Movie.
Oh boy!
Fantastic.
Yeah. So he's got that on his mantle.
He's kind of having a moment. I keep seeing new clips of him pop up on social media because he kind of gets a bad rep, but like from everything I'm seeing and hearing, he's a genuinely like awesome guy.
Yeah.
Like just a good person.
Yeah.
That doesn't deserve some of the, I think, kind of hate he gets for doing sillier roles and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why he gets it either. I never minded him. I remember him from Serial Mom, Hackers, and then Scream, obviously, and then I don't know. I never had a problem with the guy. So, but yeah, apparently he did make a appearance in the new Scream movie. I haven't seen it, but
okay.
Last but not least, or no, second to last. Jesus,
I know.
We've got Ray Liotta as Galleon. 1987 nominee for Golden Globe for Best Performance by an actor in a supporting role for Something Wild. And then in 1991, he was a Chicago Film Critics Award nominee for Goodfellas. And he won a 2005 Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor in ER. He turned down the role of Tony Soprano in The Sopranos. He also turned down the role of Batman to do Goodfellas. He passed away in, I believe, 2020 or 2022. He does have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Speaking of other actors that have passed away, we've got Burt Reynolds as King Conrad.
Yeah.
1998 Oscar nominee for Boogie Nights. Numerous nominations and wins for that role in that film, which is strange because he absolutely hated that film and hated working with Paul Thomas Anderson. He also has a slew of Razzie Award nominations, one of which is for this film. And a couple other things. He was considered for the role of Han Solo in Star Wars and Deckard in Blade Runner. And he was Milos Forman's first choice for the lead in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but also turned that down. His last movie he was working on before he died was Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was replaced by Bruce Dern. And apparently he also turned down the role of James Bond, believing that an American couldn't play the role. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, but his 1972 nude centerfold in Cosmopolitan magazine sold a reported 1.5 million copies, and he later said that he deeply regretted posing for it, as he believed it lost him an Academy Award nomination for Deliverance, as he would not be seen as a quote-unquote serious actor. Sorry, Burt. I don't know if that... I don't know. He's great in Deliverance. Burt Reynolds is an interesting actor. Did some really good serious work, but also kind of just played an action hero in a lot of other things.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I grew up on Smokey and the Bandit stuff too, right? Like,
yeah, that, and he did a lot of game shows, Win, Lose, or Draw. I think he Dom DeLuise and all them back in the day. So let's talk about this movie, Ben. It cost $60 million to make, and it was Boll's most expensive production at the time. There were 2 versions of the film released, a 127-minute theatrical cut and a director's cut that runs 155 minutes, and apparently there's also a 3-hour-long version that Boll hopes to someday release, according to some sources I've read. I watched the 127-minute version. Is that what you are most familiar with?
That is what I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ben, the movie was a huge box office bomb.
Oh, yeah.
$60 million to make, grossed $2.9 million in the United States, and went on to only gross $10.3 million worldwide.
And I will say, I found and was introduced to this movie in, like, the 2009 Netflix era.
Okay.
Like, somewhere in 0809, it was when I would get my 3 discs a week from Netflix in the mail. It was like, hey, you might like this thing.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. And so, and I still just have this memory of just like, how did you get this group of people together?
Exactly. Because I gotta believe at that point, this was his biggest cast as well, because before that, he'd kind of used actors that were, well, Christian Slater was in one of his movies, and Christian Slater wasn't doing so well back then. He's since kind of had a resurgence. But he, like Robert Downey Jr., he went through some tough times. And other than that, I don't know of anybody really, real huge name actors that were in a lot of his early movies. So this cast, at this point in time, most of these people were still fairly well known, I think. I mean, Burt Reynolds didn't really do much with his, post-Oscar glory. Statham, though, was at his peak, or not even at his peak, but just beginning to peak.
Just really blowing up.
Yeah. And Ron Perlman was pretty hot off of Hellboy. And Ray Liotta has just always been kind of a beloved actor.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Like, I gotta believe that's where a lot of the budget went.
That's what I was gonna say. You say biggest budget, but like, look at, that's where the budget went, right?
I'm guessing.
Like, I have to believe that.
Yeah. I do think, from what I gathered, that the movie kind of made some of its money back based on DVD and Blu-ray sales because it was all over the place. If anybody out there remembers movie rental stores, they were pretty cool. And if you went in there around this time, there were a lot of Uwe Boll movies sitting on the shelf, and this was one of them. So, but yeah, Netflix, I used to love that. 3 or 4 at a time, and I would always forget what was coming next. But anyway.
And I loved it.
Oh, yeah. It was like, holy crap, I don't remember getting these.
Surprise.
Yeah, it was totally surprised, and it was great. So, Ben, now that we've got all that out of the way, and everybody knows what we're dealing with, you tell me, because even though you did, this, you didn't come to this podcast through the normal channels, because usually people either approach me with an idea or I approach them and ask for one. You responded to my fishing, which I'm glad. And you, if I'm not mistaken, you said you could make a case for In the Name of the Dragon / King, Lord of the Flies, whatever the hell, Dragon Walk. Where'd that come from? Anyway, why? Why, out of all these movies, did you say, Ryan, let's talk about In the Name of the King?
And so like, here's the thing. Like, if you study back, like, the old days of the film studios, right? Mm-hmm. And the true origins of what is a B movie, that it was like, it was people training to be on the A movie. Right? And so it both in front of and behind the camera, all these sorts of things. When TV production really started taking off, it kind of killed the B movie in that era because the TV crews could work just as fast, if not faster, and so people could kind of cut their teeth in TV and then move into film or however you want to do it, like. And so we have this long history of the B movie that we lower our expectations for.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Absolutely.
My argument is I think this may be the most perfect B movie ever.
Okay.
I am in no way stating that this is a good movie.
Right. No, I don't think anybody would.
Yeah, but I mean, my two biggest descriptions I wrote down from rewatching it earlier this week is, first of all, AI slop has always been around.
Yeah, more or less.
because what is AI slop but taking like the most like boring of ideas floating around and then like regurgitating them into a singular slop, right?
Yeah.
And that is literally what this movie is. It takes a bunch of science fiction-y and leans super heavy into Lord of the Rings. I think I read somewhere that like the writer had to come into the draft and Lord of the Ringsify it.
Yeah, I read that too.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is my other comment about the film in rewatching is that this feels like a fever dream after someone binged all 3 extended editions of Lord of the Rings.
Sure. Okay.
Right. Like you binge all 3 of them, you take a little too much melatonin, you pass out, and this is what you imagined in your sleep.
Right. Yeah.
And so yes. So that's why I think it's one of those things, to be honest, like I made that big note of 0 subtext.
Yeah.
Because especially, man, by the end of the movie, there actually is slight subtext at times. The first 20 minutes of the movie, there is not an ounce of subtext.
No.
Right? And to be honest, like I try to teach my students about subtext and all these different things, and some students get it and some students take longer to get it, right?
Yeah.
And so even, I'm a little bit of one of these people that there are no bad movies, because even a bad movie, we learn how to make better movies from, right?
I more or less agree, yeah.
Yeah. And so even like, I would love to use the first 20 minutes of this movie to teach people, like, did you notice how everyone just says exactly what they mean and like exactly what they're thinking?
Yeah.
And they're like, you're never literally wondering a single thing because someone just said it.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, even just looking at this as like this boring, terrible example of bad writing,
mm-hmm.
right? Like, we can all learn how to be better writers and go like, oh yeah, like what if they didn't just say exactly what they were doing as they're doing it, right? I mean, and there's a piece of that it even comes into like, and they try to make it seem mildly interesting later in the film, but like, oh, who's this character? Farmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does this character do? Farmer.
He's a farmer. No, that, and I looked into that, and apparently in the video game, the characters were just generically named that, and then you could name them whatever you wanted to name them. So you could be the farmer and then name him Steve or something.
Yeah.
So the writers kind of just co-opted the generic, I guess, which I don't know. Yeah, well, it's silly.
Hey, I guess maybe this is just twice as brilliant as either of us think, because they were making them feel like NPCs.
Maybe. You could be right. I will let the audience decide if they want to comment on that. If are Ben and I wrong? Or Ben, so far, I haven't said what I think, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I doubt it, though. I really doubt it.
I do too. I think I get the feeling that it was literally just like, ugh, why do we have to film people talking? This is a movie about people kicking each other's asses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
Yeah. Well, And there's nothing wrong with that per se. Like,
Yeah.
I watch a lot of martial arts movies, and the most boring parts in those are just when the characters are talking. It's like, okay, get back to the next 20-minute long set piece where they're fighting each other with sticks and jumping on rooftops. I'll figure out the plot. I don't care. I don't care who's screwing over who, which warlord is, going after which other. It's like, no, Shaolin monks fighting other monks? Cool.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you mentioned that, like, I always, like, halfway through the film, when it's like, surprise, King's private ninjas.
Oh, yeah.
In the forest.
Yeah.
Just, like, flipping over each other's backs out of nowhere, right? Like,
well, right away when Jason Statham's character, Farmer, as I mentioned in the plot synopsis, his wife and kid go off to sell their goods. And, oh, that sounded terrible. I meant their farmed goods, the vegetables and whatnot.
They're vegetables.
They're radishes or whatever. Farmer is attacked by these Kroogs, which are just basically really cheap-looking orcs. And
but hey, not digital.
No, and hey, I'm fine. Believe me, I watch a lot of movies from the 50s on up to the 80s. I'm all about a dude in a rubber suit. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Give me a rubber suit over a CG monster any day. But Farmer is a martial arts genius in this world because he is round kicking, he's spin kick. Jason Statham was probably like, look, I'll do the movie for a reduced fee, but I get to do martial arts in it. But that doesn't make sense, Jason. This isn't a no, I'm doing martial arts. Right. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm spin kicking. And I'm like, okay, good. So yeah, you're right. It's
realistically they needed to write in like a very early Farmer finds a potion of
martial arts
kicks.
Juice.
Right.
From the ancient Orient.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, so back to like why I recommend this movie. Like, honestly, the casting is I'm gonna butcher these names, but Ide Belasco and Maureen Webb, and look at both of their IMDb's. They are incredible, like, casting agents, right? Like casting directors. Like, they both still are out there working, casting amazing projects right now. So, like, for me, the Oscar goes to those two.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like someone being given a turd of a movie to do a wonderful performance in, but it still is like an incredible cast doing a turd of a movie, and it's a terrible lines delivered. I actually also wrote down at one point that I believe that there was a quota in this film that every actor needed at least one terrible line and one amazing line.
Okay. Did you write them down as an example?
Not for each of them.
Okay.
The one that I did definitively write down is there's a brief moment with back and forth between Ron Perlman and Claire Forlani. They're both like encased in the back of a wagon being taken to the evil castle, whatever.
Yeah.
Is this where we pay for our sins?
No, Norik. This is where we pay for our virtues. Sins are more than welcome here.
And I was like, ooh, like that's a good one, right?
Can I tell you my favorite one?
Please.
It's one of the generals. It's when after that village is attacked, and then finally the king shows up with some of his soldiers, and everybody's kneeling except for Farmer, and one of the guys is like,
"Peasant, do not forget to whom you speak.
In your world, don't you bow before your king?
In my world, the king's arm is expected to protect the kingdom, not just the castle."
And I was like, yeah, awesome. Like, no, like I legit thought, like, and it's just, you know, how Statham delivers that line, and I'm like, all right, cool. But then, then you get these god-awful love scenes.
You have to leave.
Is that your wish?
Each time we meet like this, I feel weak. I feel drained.
Perhaps that is what love does to a woman.
You know, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
They're just horrible love scenes.
Yes, the open, I mean, I cringe so hard still. I'd forgotten, like, it opens with this kiss between Lily Sobieski and Ray Liotta, and I am choosing to not Google their age difference.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also, the very last scene when things are okay and stuff, and there's this moment between Claire Forlani and Jason Statham, and they, like, start making out, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, if I hadn't seen my spouse in, like, days, weeks at that point, it's unclear, and, like, we had almost died multiple times, and, like, all this stuff going on, the last thing I would do is that, like, I would just hug her.
Yeah.
Because I am glad we're okay. Like, why is this forced, like, romanticism in that moment? Like, it's like it overlooks joy.
Yeah.
And goes straight to passion.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Well, that's typical in a lot of movies. It's like, in real life, you just like, hey, you know, it's really good to see you. Yeah, there might be some nookie later, but right away, especially if you've been, like, I've never been married, but I have been in long relationships, and after a few years, it's like, I'm just happy to see you. Like, you know, I'm not.
Yeah, they're also your best friend and your partner through the journey of life and all these sorts of things. Like,
you're not.
Stop.
It's like, not like that honeymoon phase where every time you see each other, you're like, oh yeah, let's get it on. And
I can't quite remember, but aren't there still literally dead bodies lying around?
Yeah.
Like.
Yep.
Okay.
There are, but you know what, dude? When passion consumes you, you have to just ignore the stench of blood and brain matter and probably soiled linens or whatever they wore. Yep. Not linens. You know what I mean. I was gonna just soiled clothes.
Yep.
Dead people shit themselves. That's all I was trying to say. Okay.
Yeah.
And my brain is fried because it's hot. So, but yeah, another line I liked, and I'm not saying this is a good line, but I can appreciate a good hokey line.
Yeah.
So I don't usually like to say the word cheesy because I just don't get what that means, but hokey to me can sometimes still be fun, especially when it's overly melodramatic and the actor, in this case Ray Liotta, is just chewing every bit of scenery he can.
In my kingdom, there will be no word for madness. We shall simply call it power.
And I laughed so hard. I was like, that's so good. It's so stupid, but it's so good. Like, I don't know.
You know, and, like, credit to him for, like, he still kind of pulls that line off, right? Like, just imagine from his standpoint being handed that line and just being like, what does that mean? And he still, like, conveys something with it. Yeah.
I would respect some of these people more if they just got up and during their press conferences and said things like that. I would be like, okay, now you're being a supervillain. If you're gonna be a supervillain, don't just say racial slurs on Twitter or mumble through stuff about how much you hate female politicians. Tell me that in our new America, madness will be called power. I'm still not gonna like you, but I would at least be like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. See, this is what watching James Bond.
Clearly defined roles.
Yeah, exactly. Be the villain you want to be. Don't just pretend and, you know.
Don't wear a mask.
Yeah. Or hide behind a
just to be liked.
A frickin' tweet or whatever they call them now. An X. Yeah. Fuck. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to get on my tirade against.
What an X is.
It's whatever Twitter's called now. I who cares? I don't use
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're not wrong at all.
Yeah.
I'm not quite ready to tell you yet how I feel about this. So my question for you is, are you a fan, like, is fantasy your thing? Like, I don't know. Some people have their preferred genre. I guess as long as I've ever known you, I don't know that you've ever told me what your go-to as just a fan. Obviously the movies you and I worked on were horror films, but yeah, I don't know. Would you consider yourself a big fantasy guy, or?
I think in general I am. Broadly speaking, the stories about like mundane common life, like all those sorts of things, they interest me way less.
Okay.
The fanciful stories, epics, all those sorts of things are always way more interesting to me. I think, honestly, one of the things I learned in part through graduate school is, while that's my preferred, like, movies to consume, I don't think I'm as good at making those movies. I think I actually am more better at a little slice of life and realism and all those sorts of things as a filmmaker. And even I often tell the story, and maybe you don't even remember this moment, but I point out to folks, like, horror has really never been my thing. And again, I don't know if you may not remember this at all, but I remember you asking me to be a director of photography for Abed, in part because it wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
And you were like, the horror is in this story.
Yeah.
I don't need the cinematography to like be like hyper stylized. And we did a couple stylized shots within the film, but like overall, the film was shot to be like
a drama,
more slice of life and a drama and all these sorts of things.
I remember that.
And so, yeah. So to that end, like, yes, like, especially, like, to be honest, I sometimes teach our genres class in the summer. And I really, one of these years, I'm really just going to bite the bullet and completely shift the class over, because I want to do an entire, like, summer semester of movie genres in space.
Okay.
Because, like, space films also cover all genres at some point, right? Yeah. Like, and even, especially, like, Star Trek Strange New Worlds as a TV show, they have, four seasons out now or something? And, like, 3 seasons. And within each season they will flip genres episode to episode. And so there's a body swap comedy, and then a full horror, and then a musical, and then they have a fantasy. Like, they have such fun with genres in that writing room that passes on to all the episodes. And so it's like within the world of like science fiction and fantasy, I think there is such flexibility and interesting approaches and things to try out with metaphor and symbolism and all these sorts of things that you like. Yes, those are that's my bread and butter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm pretty much the same way. I you know, they talk about genre, and these are what's called the speculative genres, are horror, fantasy, and science fiction. And that's because they're not based in reality. They speculate on what would it be like if vampires existed? What would it be like if there was a race of whatever on some planet? Or what would it be like if dragons were real? Like, these are the genres I've always been drawn to, because I feel like within them you can do every other genre. I love a good drama. I love westerns. There isn't a genre I don't like. But I tend to like them when they're filtered, or not filtered through, but put in the context of some fantastic setting. And by fantastic, I mean, for instance, Shaun of the Dead, I think is one of the best romantic comedies of all time. But it's a zombie. It's a zombie, and it's also a good horror film. That's what made Scream work. Scream was a comedy, but it did the horror just as well as it did the comedy.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and I think James Gunn is a particular a writer who I particularly like. I'm not as much into the Marvel stuff or the comic book stuff he's done, but he always did a good job of balancing a little bit of humor, a little bit of drama, a little bit of pathos, but it was also whatever genre he was working in, he hit the right notes. You know, Super, Slither, even his Dawn of the Dead script that Zack Snyder directed. So that's why I'm drawn to these things. Out of the three of those, I think what's called high fantasy, which is what these would be, where it's kingdoms and magic and wizards and dragons, which aren't in this movie, even though I thought they were. That's what's usually called
no dragons.
No dragons. That's high fantasy. Because fantasy can usually mean anything. As long as it isn't real, you know. But like a talking dog movie is a fantasy film, really. So anyway, what I'm getting at is, for me going into this, fantasy being kind of the least of those three, I was way more into it as a kid. In fact, I wanted to be a fantasy writer before I ever... Secretly, I'll tell you, Ben, I want to be a sci-fi writer. I love science fiction. I am not smart enough to do it. Yeah. So when you were talking about like you think you're better at the slice of life dramas, but you really, I would love to be the next Arthur C. Clarke or Philip K. Dick or Denis Villeneuve, whatever. Yeah. I would love to make that stuff. I can't. Like I don't think I'd be able to direct it. I don't know how to write it because I'm not. I'd be all right with the characters in the drama, but I don't know. Yeah. I'm stupid. I'm not a smart man. But at least as far as like writing really good, believable science fiction, I can't do it. So, but anyway, I digress. Going into this film, that's why I asked you that, because I didn't know if like, being that I'm not a huge high fantasy guy, I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy as much as anybody else. I think it's a masterpiece. But I've never seen The Hobbit, like those three Hobbit movies. Like, it's just not something I
have. That's okay.
My brother's the biggest Tolkien fan on earth, and he told me they weren't worth watching. If he says that, and now somebody's going to come on the show and make me watch them. So going into this, I didn't really have any expectations as far as, oh my God, is this going to be the next Lord of the Rings, or is this going to be a brilliant fantasy epic? But as somebody who is into fantasy, when you first saw this, what were your expectations? Like, did you think this was going to be... Did you know about not the controversy, but had you heard the bad press and reviews for it?
No. I knew nothing. And one of the things I will point out about this genre of fantasy too, this was my own annoying note to myself at the very end to perhaps bring up here today. But when this movie finished playing for me on Hulu, autoplay recommended next for me the film Aragon.
Okay. I've never seen that.
It does have a dragon.
Yes, it does. Yes.
And that film is a mess.
Okay.
And this is the thing though, where I differentiate them, where like Aragon tries to be an A movie and fails, whereas this is such a successful B movie.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is my argument. But because Aragon is another, like, I love the books. I wanted so much more from the movies, and they didn't deliver the movie, because they killed it after one and it didn't deliver.
Yeah. When you first popped this in your DVD player, were you, just as a fantasy fan, were you kind of, I don't know if excited's the right word, but were you kind of like, oh, I'm going to settle in for what might be a fun movie?
Yeah, because I mean, everything I watch, and yes, like, so much of my experience is always framed through, like, Lord of the Rings, because it's my stan. Is that what the kids say?
Sure.
But I want, like, what are you going to do different? Like, what's different either in this world or how you show this world or whatever that may be. And then they kind of didn't.
Okay.
So, but that, I guess, so that was kind of my expectations, was just like, show me your version of like, Middle Ages fantasy magic land.
And it didn't, I mean, on your first viewing, did it give you anything? I mean, did you enjoy it the first time you watched it? Or have you kind of grown to appreciate it as a B movie since?
So I think, so to answer your question, I'll explain that, like, I do kind of have my own way of watching movies where if I am thinking about the production during the movie, it means they failed to tap into me emotionally.
Yes.
On that first watch. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
This never captured me emotionally.
Okay.
Right. So even on that first watch, I was analyzing. I was like thinking through the cast. I mean, so many of these cast members are also playing themselves.
Yeah.
Kind of like, right, like in a way it's not necessarily bad, but it's kind of, I don't want to call it lazy or sloppy, but it's kind of disconjoined.
Well, Burt Reynolds literally has his eye on the door the whole time.
Yeah,
like he could not care less that he's in this movie.
I want to point out, and you didn't mention him in the intro, but like Brian White is that Commander Teresh who is like training Lily Sobieski early in the film, and like has the combat with Matthew Lillard and all of that. He is cooking throughout this film. Right?
Yeah.
Like, because people don't really know who he is, and he is doing so good. So is Mike. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Dopud.
Yeah, I didn't. I couldn't.
I recognize him from tons of like other sci-fi shows and all these sorts of things. He has some terrible, like, fake Fu Manchu kind of mustache thing going on.
Yeah.
But like, I still recognize him, and he does interesting things. But like, like even in that layer, there was interesting things, but I was never captured into the film.
Okay.
Right. And so I always looked at it as an analytical study, but I think I still am like, as an analytical study, on paper, there's kind of so much about this movie that should be better than it is.
Yeah.
I feel like this film should work so well, and it doesn't. Which makes me go, okay, like, where were the weak spots? What was it that wasn't successful in the end with this? And man, like, it comes back to the script and the directing.
Yeah.
Like, you give this a better script that has subtext, for instance.
Sure.
And you give this some directing so that the actors actually understand what their goal is moment to moment and who their characters they're portraying are.
Yeah.
And I think this could have been like, so good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what we, my guest and I on the last episode discussed is, seems to be a common thing here with Uwe Boll is his ambition far out reaches his talent. Sure. He definitely wants to shoot for the stars, but he is never going to get there. And I would say even in this case, his directing, without giving away what I feel of the movie, my impression of his directing was not so much lazy as just aping every other fantasy movie he'd ever seen, down to the point where he steals actual shots from Peter Jackson.
Right.
So
goes back to that AI slop thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. Is he's constantly railing about how much he hates Hollywood and Hollywood filmmakers, and yet you watch any of his movies and it's like he is stealing, and not even in a creative way, like Quentin Tarantino will do. I'm just going to rip off shots and do the exact same thing this other filmmaker did, but just somehow less good.
Yeah. and claim it as my own.
And I think another thing too is he is often saved by his crew. Like his cinematographer at least seems to know what he's doing.
Agreed.
I feel like his editor is probably pulling his hair out in the editing room, being like, how do I make this shit work? But he somehow makes it work.
Makes it work.
So I think that was what we discussed on the Darfur episode, was like, he's not a good director.
And the production design on this?
Yeah. It's
like it's I mean, we can joke about like the not orcs.
Yeah.
Being like whatever, but like they came up with this from scratch.
Yeah.
Right? Like fantasy is also one of the hardest to production design.
Oh yeah.
And the production designer is just as competent and wonderful as the cinematographer, as the editor.
Yeah.
Like there's so much of that's really coming together.
Yeah, it's like I feel like his cast and his crew give him more than he deserves. And because I feel like they're at like, well, we're at least going to try to do our jobs right and, make something that looks good enough to watch. And the actors are like, yeah, this is terrible writing, but let's try and have some fun with it and, not look too embarrassed on screen. Or in Burt Reynolds' case, he just doesn't care. Like Matthew Lillard, I think, knows exactly what movie he's in.
Yep.
I think Jason Statham, even to a certain degree, knows what he's doing or what movie he's in. Ron Perlman definitely knows what kind of movie he's in.
Oh, yeah.
Ray Liotta, I think the opposite of Burt Reynolds. He didn't give a shit, but he was still going to have as much fun with it as he could.
When Ron Perlman's character dies, it feels kind of like Ron going like, yeah, I've had enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like he was just like choosing to have his heroic moment because he's like, I'm literally done with production days.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh, yeah. It was like this, for such a big character, it was such a weak-ass death scene.
Yeah,
like, it's just, he gave up.
You can all escape, and I'm going to get stabbed.
Yeah. And Burt Reynolds was like, you could tell his death scene too. He's just like, can you guys put some eye drops in my eyes so it kind of looks like I'm crying? And I'm just going to lay here with my face in one direction, say my lines. Okay, no, I'm dead. And it was like, yeah, you guys just want to get out of here. Which I'm not going to lie, in a way I kind of find entertaining. But anyway, I don't want to get into that yet, but so would you say then, overall, you do think this movie's fun though? Like you unironically appreciate it for what it is.
I don't know if it's always unironically.
You're right.
But like it's a mix of that. Like I think when it's fun, it's fun. And when it's not fun, it's Razzie worthy.
Sure.
Right? So whether it's because I think people will both like kind of not laugh, but like laugh with it and laugh at it.
Yeah.
Like back and forth. And so in that respect, it is fun.
Sure.
Throughout, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, did you have any questions for me, or do you want to like get to my opinion?
I kind of just want to know, Ryan.
What do you want to know?
Did it kill you or did it thrill you?
Okay. So, given that my last exposure to Uwe Boll was grim and dark and made me feel miserable afterwards, and I didn't hate that movie.
Yeah.
I appreciated it. I won't say I liked it or loved it, but I appreciated, again, his ambition and his willingness to tackle what is a very serious subject. In the Name of the King is not a serious subject. It was a breath of fresh air for me. Going into this and going into my previous episode on Uwe, I had only ever seen like 3 of his movies. I never got into the whole cult of I'm going to watch them all, and I gave up. Like after, I think it's called Afraid of the Dark or Alone in the Dark, the Christian Slater one, I just gave up. I didn't care anymore. I was like, I'm not, life's too short. However,
Yeah.
strangely enough, as I've gotten older, I've decided that life's too short to be picky and angry at movies all the time. And I sort of become more of a person that likes to try and find the entertainment value in everything I watch now because, you know, I'm in my 50s and like Mark Maron says, I don't know how much time I've got left. This could be the last movie I watch. It could happen while I'm watching this movie. So I might as well get something out of it, no matter how bad it is or how inept it is. I've softened a little bit, Ben, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm starting to find joy in things that probably 20 years ago I would have just dismissed outright or not even watched at all, which is why which is one of the reasons I do like this podcast is every once in a while I get thrown something where I'm like, yeah, I would have never even given that a thought.
Yeah.
And I'll watch anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not picky.
Right. Yeah.
I would have probably not watched that. And then I watch it and I'm like, okay, all right, fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've already mentioned how awful, embarrassing those love scenes are. There's 2 of them at the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say right off the bat. The first hour of this movie is a effing slog. It is so boring. It is...
Yep.
It has no momentum whatsoever. If it wasn't for the actors being like mostly interesting looking or attractive people moving around on screen and saying lines, there's really not much going for this first hour of this film at all. Like
that might have been the whole goal.
It might have been, but I don't know. It feels like Peter Jackson did more in the first 10 minutes of Lord of the Rings than, you know, and that's like a 3.5 hour movie. Like,
yes,
this movie's very easy to nitpick, obviously, and Uwe Boll has this reputation, and I think that had I seen this movie when it came out, I probably would have bought into the whole, God, this is the worst thing ever made. You go online and people call this the worst, one of the top 5 worst films ever made. I honestly, 20 years later or whatever, I don't think this is nearly as bad as people say it is.
It's not. I don't think so either.
After that first hour is over, when they get to that first battle in the forest, I was in.
Yeah.
Just started having fun with it. Like, that part where they captured Farmer, and then they hang him, and then Jason Statham does this weird karate thing to get out of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, all right. Okay, that was dope.
Yeah.
I'm good. Where is it going?
I think I rewatched that move once because I was just like, how did you?
No,
like,
that was awesome. And I'm like, okay, if it gives me more of that, I'm in. So I loved that first forest battle. And I have zero problem with the ninjas. I was so glad when the ninjas showed up. I was like, first of all, you've got once again, Statham doing his martial arts. You get these ninjas. You got Statham with his really bad but kind of cool CGI boomerang. And then all these forest women.
I'd forgotten the boomerang.
Are starting to mess with the Kroogs. Then, here's the part where I was automatically like, okay, I can't deny it, I kind of like this movie, was when the Kroogs started lighting other Kroogs on fire and putting them on catapults and launching them at the good guys.
Like you do.
I'm like, okay, I cannot tell a lie. I've got a smile on my face.
Yeah.
And I am watching this because if there's one thing else I appreciate, and it's in this movie in spades, it's sincerity, even if misplaced, makes it so charming to me. Because there are moments where the actors are really, really trying to sincerely sell this world and this story. And it's so... You want to feel bad for them, but yet at the same time, I'm like, God bless you.
Yeah.
You're not making me care about any of these characters, but I'm enjoying the fact that you're trying to convince me this matters. So at one point I just wrote down in my notes, thank God Jason Statham is in this. Because I don't know why, he's just so fun. Like, he's just such a ridiculous man sometimes. And he's I don't know. It's just like he's basically his character from the Transporter, but in a medieval tunic. Like, okay.
Medieval times, yeah.
On I'm about 85% heterosexual observational level, I wrote down in my notes, Lily Sobieski looks really hot in her armor. I may have taken an edible while watching this, Ben, so I'm neither going to confirm nor deny that, but that's what it says in my notes. Lily Sobieski looks hot in her armor.
Hey, you're in Michigan.
Yeah, no, I can do what I want. It's legal.
Yeah, it's not in Indiana, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, other than the fact that this movie tries way too hard to mimic Peter Jackson, and that first hour is just a slog, I think after you get through that, the rest of this movie is kind of a stupid blast. Like, it is. Yeah. It's dumb as a box of rocks, as the kids say, back in 1940. I think that's when they said that. I even admittedly loved that stupid showdown between Ray Liotta and Jason Statham in the Wizard Library. He's binding him with books, and then there's more karate.
I may have written a note of a Uwe premonition. Books are the evil tools to restrain us.
Yeah, there you go. Well, seems to be leaning into fascism lately, but I actually like that, and this is a spoiler, but it's a 20-year-old movie, people. I liked that Galleon, whatever his name is, that his comeuppance was actually a group effort. It wasn't just one person taking him down. They all had to contribute. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like, all right, that's teamwork, guys. Good job.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess my ultimate thing is, I'm not going to say, on a certain, like, basic level of just, man, I was sitting on my couch eating ice cream with my cats, as I usually do, maybe or maybe not under the influence of a tiny little microdosed piece of edible. It thrilled me in a way that, like, reading a comic book when I was 12 thrilled me. Like, I go back and reread some of the comic books I loved as a kid. They're not well written. They're not even well drawn half the time. But when I was 12, I didn't care. And I kind of had that feeling watching this. And I'm listening to all these reviews online. I'm reading all these reviews. I look at all the Razzie Awards, and I'm like, was this just a victim of the Uwe Boll backlash of the time? Because watching it all these years later, there are so many worse movies out there. And like you said, with Aragon, even though I haven't seen it, it's that whole, it's an A movie trying to be something beyond what it is capable of being, or whatever it was you said. Whereas this one, I think, knows exactly what it is. And even though Uwe Boll probably thought he was making the next Lord of the Rings,
an A movie,
it obviously wasn't. And I think the cast and crew knew that. And
correct.
And made what I think is actually, unironically, an enjoyable, stupid, fun, fantasy moron movie. And I'm okay with that. Like, I genuinely had a good time watching this. I'm not going to lie, I will probably get shit on the internet for that. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm glad you picked this one. And I will say I'm not going to say I appreciate Uwe Boll, because I don't really think he had that much to do with why this movie turned out to be fun.
Yeah.
He probably had a whole lot to do with why it turned out to be stupid.
Yeah.
But there's a fine line. So I'm not going to give him any credit for it. And like as I briefly mentioned, he's really, not someone I care to really give too much credit for or to these days.
And I will say, I'm hoping, and I don't know how last week's episode came out, but like, I'm hoping that because it thrilled you, it doesn't count as a negative review, because you know what he has done in the past to any critics who had 2 negative reviews of him.
Yeah, he boxed them.
You're gonna get invited to a boxing match, Ryan.
I'm fine with that. He can, you know what? I will let you go for it, Uwe. you're the asshole that keeps going on far-right Nazi podcasts, not me.
Yeah.
So, in fact, that's what he'll probably want to come after me for. Or Elon Musk. Elon Musk is going to drag me through the Twitter mud.
Yeah.
I think deep down, Uwe Boll's just a insecure asshole who thinks he's greater than he is. He's not a dumb man by any means. He does have a doctorate in literature. He's obviously passionate about filmmaking. It's just he does not have the talent for it. But don't try telling him that.
Right.
So problematic individual, absolutely.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna hold the director against this movie, because the rest of the people in this movie made something fun. So
yeah,
Uwe Boll can put his name on it all he wants, but I give my my Academy Award to
credit to the cast and crew,
and to Jason Statham for just being fun. And whoever's idea it was to throw ninjas in this, you also get an extra Academy Award, a special Academy Award from me. Because anytime ninjas pop up in something where they shouldn't be, you got me. Thanks, Ben. This was a fun time watching this movie and talking to you. I can't wait to see what people have to... Because I blew a few people's minds when I came out and said I liked the new Masters of the Universe. So apparently, I don't know anything anymore.
Well, and I mean, screw people trying to disrupt what's the phrase? Yuck your yum.
Yeah,
right?
Don't yuck my yum.
There's so much stuff nowadays that, like, people, I feel like, say they have to love or hate something because other people are saying that, and not because they actually have their own thoughts or feelings, right?
Right.
Like, and screw all of that. Like,
yeah.
It's disingenuine at every step, and I'm not here for disingenuity.
Disingenuity?
We'll go with that.
Yeah. Don't yuck my yum.
Don't yuck Ryan's yum, folks, on the internet.
Can I use that in my next promo? It's just a sample of your voice saying that.
Yes.
Sweet. I'm not even going to get... Usually I give a little overview of the... critical aggregate sites like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, but they're all bad, so screw that. I wrote them down.
They're bad.
But
it's bad.
It's just bad, folks. And fine, you know what? I also liked Cats, and I am just going to go on the record as saying that I think you all are just remembering this as being worse than it was, because it's who cares who directed it? It works. I don't know. It's just fun. So I'm happy. I'm so happy that it turned out to be fun. Because that genocide movie was not fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So Ben, not only do I want to have you back at some point, I have an open door policy, and you are welcome back anytime, my friend. But why don't you, as we close out, why don't you remind everybody again who you are and what you do, and if you have any places where people can maybe see some of these movies that you and your students have worked on, let me know. I will also put those links in the episode description.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of our we do a couple year delay on fully releasing them online, but so again, I'm an associate teaching professor at Ball State University, and I run our the campus-wide project Radiance Cinema, where we work over about a 15-month cycle to make short films, and we partner with the Heartland International Film Festival in Indianapolis, where students get introduced to film festivals, and then our films premiere at their Indie Shorts Festival every July, which is really awesome. So at this point, our films just premiered for the 2026 year. Sometime in the next couple months, we'll start to release online our 2025 films, though. Our 2024 films are already online, so all of that is available on the YouTube channel for Radiant Cinema BSU. You can also follow us on Instagram, Radiant Cinema BSU. If you want to, you can follow me, the Odd HD Professor, on Instagram as well. But yeah.
Okay.
All that fun stuff.
Awesome. Well, once again, I want to congratulate you not only on your success in the educational field, and I do believe you are doing the Lord's work and turning on a new generation to the joys of filmmaking and the joys of film in general, just art, creation.
Yes.
But also on your family.
Yeah, thank you.
Wish you all the best. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I admire you.
Yeah,
and
thanks. I admire you too.
I love having you as a friend, and it was very good to see you again.
Yeah.
And talk to you about Uwe Boll and Forest Ninjas.
Uwe Boll.
He brings people together. No. No. But Jason Statham sure does.
Jason Statham does. Yeah. I'll go with that.
Okay.
It's those casting directors.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you're right.
They're the ones who literally brought people together.
They did. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Now, I'm a big believer in supporting the podcast community. Well, some of you anyway. So, hey, if you like movies and you like listening to people talk about them, then these are some shows I think you might dig. If you want silly, irreverent discussions about strange cinema from all over the place, check out the Dog Zone 9000, hosted by former Cracked writers Sean Baby and Robert Brockway. And if you do, tell them they need to bring me on their show. We've also got Watch Skip Plus, which is also available on YouTube, Night of the Living Podcast, The Gentleman's Guide to Midnight Cinema, and my personal favorite, the Not a Bomb Podcast with Troy and Brad. Saved my life, kinda. If you love all things Star Wars, then definitely listen to Blast Points. And if you love all things Sam Raimi, then check out my friend Christy Jett and her friend Anna on the Raimi Cast. Back over on YouTube, you can check out the Two Johns and their show, and now for something a little bit different. Of course, I also co-host the Unidentified Flying Podcast with my BFF, Rick Reed, aboard the Lexa Proteus 4 as we journey through the science fiction films of the 1950s, year by year, movie by movie. And, well, last but not least...
If you enjoyed this program, you should totally follow it online.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking.
So where are you?
Go to Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, and YouTube.
Cool.
And search for Cinema Milkshake.
Do it. Yeah, we'll give it a whirl. Why not?
And
Like, follow, share, and leave feedback.
you tell the world.
You certainly don't have to, but it would be a whole lot cooler if you did.
Believe that shit.
Word. Oh, that's good.
Until next time, don't let the bastards grind you down.
Listen, don't get prancy with me, kiddo.
Keep watching movies.
Dude, that movie was fucking sweet. In fact, your fucking ass it was.
And, most importantly, dear listeners,
What's up?
enjoy every milkshake.
I feel like something incredible is really gonna happen here.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
I'm disgusted and repulsed, and I can't look away.
What is this, some kind of a joke?
Some sort, yes.
Bravo!
You're mocking me, aren't you?
How dare you?
Do you know anything about the art of film production?
Well, I like to think so.
Direction, the acting, the storyline, that shit was bad.
Wow.
Wow.
That was fucking trippy.
Yeah, boy.
What did you think?
I can't talk about it anymore. It's giving me a headache.
Why don't you knock it off with them negative waves?
That's part of your problem, you know. You haven't seen enough movies. All of life's riddles are answered in the movies.
I had enough. I give up. I want to go home.
Which way you taking? Suicide Trail through Nightmare Canyon or the shortcut at Satan's Ridge?
Suicide Trail?
Good choice. More snakes, less quicksand.